Everyone thinks the pursuit of happiness leads to a fulfilled life. But what if chasing happiness is actually making you miserable? This might sound strange, especially in a world that constantly encourages us to seek joy and pleasure. We're told that happiness is the ultimate goal, the thing we should all strive for. But here's where things get interesting. What if this relentless pursuit is the very thing that stands in our way? Imagine spending every moment searching for happiness and never quite reaching it. It's like chasing a mirage in the desert, where the closer you think you get, the more it slips away. This is a curious idea, isn't it? Happiness, the thing we all crave, might be the cause of our discontent. The Stoic philosophers, who lived thousands of years ago, had some thoughts on this. They believed that happiness comes not from constantly seeking it, but from accepting life as it is and finding contentment within ourselves. So, if you've ever felt frustrated by the never-ending quest for happiness, you're not alone. Maybe the answer isn't in the chasing, but in stopping and seeing things from a new perspective. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that dates back to the early 3rd century BC. It was founded in Athens by a man named Zeno of Citium. Over time, it evolved through the teachings of philosophers such as Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism emerged as a practical guide to living a good life, focusing on self-control, virtue, and rational thinking, instead of letting emotions dictate actions. Stoics believed in using reason to navigate life's challenges. The Stoics lived during times that were often chaotic and unpredictable, much like today. They were concerned with how to maintain inner peace and happiness despite external circumstances. One of their core ideas was that it is not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments and reactions to those events. This mindset helped them remain calm and content even when faced with adversity. A significant aspect of Stoicism is the concept of focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. This idea was revolutionary because it provided a sense of agency and clarity, especially when life seemed overwhelming. By embracing this principle, individuals could find peace and satisfaction regardless of what was happening around them. Stoicism also challenges the common idea that happiness is found through external achievements or possessions. Instead, it suggests that true happiness comes from within, through living a life of virtue and wisdom. This philosophy was especially appealing to many because it offered a path to resilience and mental strength. Understanding these basic ideas of Stoicism gives us a clearer picture of why the constant pursuit of happiness might be misguided. By exploring these ancient insights, we can learn how to approach life in a more balanced and fulfilling way, focusing on inner stability rather than external validation. The central problem we are exploring is the paradox of happiness. The more we chase happiness, the more it seems to elude us and make us miserable. At first glance, it appears contradictory. We associate happiness with positive outcomes, yet, in this relentless pursuit, we often end up feeling more dissatisfied than before. Consider this paradox. People often think that achieving certain goals, like getting a promotion, buying a new car, or going on a dream vacation, will make them happy. However, once these things are achieved, the initial excitement fades, and they are left wanting something more. This creates a cycle of constantly seeking new and bigger things in the hope of finding lasting happiness. The paradox lies in the idea that the pursuit of happiness itself may be what prevents us from being truly happy. Society tells us that happiness is the ultimate goal, but in striving for it, we often overlook the simple, everyday moments that can bring genuine contentment. This chase can lead to anxiety and a constant feeling of inadequacy, because there is always something more to achieve or acquire. An example of this is the hedonic treadmill, a concept where people quickly return to a stable level of happiness despite major positive or negative events or life changes. For instance, after winning the lottery, initially there is a surge of happiness, but soon, people go back to their baseline level of happiness and start looking for the next thing to make them happy. In exploring this paradox, we discover an interesting tension. What if the key to happiness isn't about pursuing it directly? By questioning this idea, we can open up new ways of thinking about what it means to live a fulfilled and content life, as suggested by Stoic philosophy. Let's explore how the pursuit of happiness can lead to unexpected misery through two examples. First, consider a young professional named Sarah. She believes that climbing the corporate ladder and earning a higher salary will make her happy. Sarah works long hours, sacrifices her personal life, and eventually earns the promotion she wanted. Initially, she feels happy and accomplished. But soon, the pressure at work increases, and she realizes her personal life is still lacking. Despite reaching her goal, she feels more stressed and unhappy than before. This shows how chasing external achievements in the name of happiness can backfire. Now, let's look at a more serious example. John is a millionaire who can afford almost anything. He believes that buying luxurious items and living a lavish lifestyle will bring him happiness. He buys expensive cars, a huge mansion, and goes on exotic vacations. For a while, these purchases make him happy. However, over time, the novelty wears off and he feels empty inside. No matter how much he buys, it never seems enough. He finds himself trapped in a cycle of needing more to fill the void, leading to deeper unhappiness. This escalation from Sarah's situation to John's highlights the increasing complexity and seriousness of the problem. Both examples reflect the paradox that the more intensely we seek happiness through external means, the less likely we are to find it. These stories show how the pursuit can lead to stress, emptiness, and a constant need for more, rather than lasting happiness. Through these examples, we see that the quest for happiness, especially when focused on external gains, often leads us further away from true contentment. It pushes us deeper into dissatisfaction, showing the dangers of this paradoxical pursuit. Let's consider a situation where seeking happiness leads to serious consequences, showing how the stakes increase over time. Imagine a country where the government promotes constant economic growth as the key to national happiness. People are encouraged to work harder, buy more, and consume endlessly. At first, it seems to work. The economy booms, and people feel a sense of progress. However, this relentless pursuit of material wealth begins to take its toll. Natural resources become depleted, pollution levels rise, and public health declines. People start feeling more stressed and disconnected from each other. The pursuit of happiness through consumption leads to environmental and social crises. Now, the stakes are much higher. It's not just about individual unhappiness but the well-being of society as a whole. This escalation presents a turning point. If left unchecked, the drive for constant growth and happiness through material gain can lead to severe environmental damage and societal breakdown. It becomes clear that the cost of this pursuit is not just personal, but extends to future generations, risking their quality of life. The urgency increases as people realize the long-term impact of their actions. At this stage, everything is on the line. The emotional toll on individuals and communities becomes more apparent. Families face stress, related health issues, communities experience division, and the environment suffers irreparable damage. The pursuit of happiness, instead of bringing joy, threatens the very fabric of society. This example highlights the danger of continuing down a path where happiness is sought externally, ignoring the broader impact. By understanding these escalating stakes, we see why it's crucial to reconsider our approach to happiness. The risks are too significant to ignore, and the potential harm affects not just individuals but entire societies. Recognizing this can prompt a shift toward a more sustainable and fulfilling way of life. As we delve deeper into why the pursuit of happiness can make us miserable, it's helpful to bring in insights from experts who have studied this phenomenon. One such expert is Viktor Frankl, a renowned psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor. Frankl's experiences led him to develop logotherapy, a form of therapy centered on finding meaning in life. He once said, "Happiness cannot be pursued, it must ensue." This statement highlights the idea that happiness is not something we can chase directly. Instead, it emerges naturally when we engage in meaningful activities. Frankl's perspective is relevant because it challenges the notion that happiness is the ultimate goal. His insights suggest that by seeking meaning rather than happiness, we can find a deeper sense of fulfillment. This aligns with Stoic philosophy, which teaches that inner peace comes from virtue and living in accordance with nature, not from external achievements or pleasures. Another authoritative voice on this topic is psychologist Sonja Lyubomirsky, known for her research on happiness. In her book, The How of Happiness, she explains that only a small portion of our happiness is determined by circumstances. She emphasizes that our actions, thoughts, and attitudes play a much larger role. Lubomirsky suggests activities like expressing gratitude, nurturing relationships, and practicing kindness as ways to cultivate lasting happiness. These insights from Frankl and Lubomirsky provide valuable perspectives on why the constant pursuit of happiness might be misguided. They remind us that seeking external sources of happiness can lead to disappointment and stress. Instead, focusing on meaningful relationships, personal growth, and contributing to something larger than ourselves can lead to true contentment. By integrating these expert views, we can better understand how to align our lives with deeper values, leading to a more satisfying existence. In our fast-paced modern lives, the pursuit of happiness often seems like a race we are all running. But are we running towards something real, or just chasing shadows? Today, social media plays a huge role in how we perceive happiness. We scroll through countless images of people smiling, traveling to exotic places, or achieving career milestones. The constant exposure to these curated moments can make us wonder if we are missing out on something, pushing us to chase similar experiences. Do you find yourself comparing your life to what you see online, wondering why others seem happier or more successful? This is a trap many fall into, where the quest for happiness becomes a never-ending cycle of comparison and dissatisfaction. The pressure to appear happy and successful online can lead to stress and anxiety, rather than true joy. Moreover, the rise of consumer culture has reinforced the idea that buying more will make us happier. Advertisements tell us that a new car, the latest gadget, or a bigger house will bring us joy. But do these things truly fulfill us, or do they just leave us wanting more? The cycle of consumption can leave us feeling empty, as happiness from material possessions is often fleeting. In our work lives, we often chase promotions and pay raises, believing they will bring satisfaction. But is it the title or the paycheck that truly matters? Or is it the passion and purpose behind what we do every day? By examining these modern-day scenarios, we can see how the Stoic perspective is relevant. True happiness may not come from what we acquire or how we appear to others. Instead, it might be found in living authentically, appreciating what we have, and connecting deeply with those around us. This shift in mindset can guide us toward a more content and meaningful life. Reflecting on the pursuit of happiness, we might ask ourselves if we are looking in the right places. The paradox we face is simpler: the harder we chase happiness, the more it seems to slip away. This isn't just about social media or consumer culture. It's about understanding what truly matters to us. Imagine someone running after a butterfly. The more they try to catch it, the more it flies away. But when they sit quietly, the butterfly might just land on their shoulder. Happiness can be like that butterfly. It might come to us when we stop chasing it and start noticing the small, beautiful moments already around us. A valuable lesson from this is to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and how we treat others. We often can't control outside events, but we can choose how we respond to them. By doing this, we create our own peace and contentment. Consider asking yourself, what truly makes me happy? Is it things, or is it experiences, relationships, and personal growth? These questions can guide us to understand our own values and what we genuinely care about. Perhaps the key is to find joy in the present moment, rather than always looking to the future for happiness. It's about appreciating what we have now, like the relationships and simple pleasures in life. This mindset can lead to more lasting fulfillment. In the end, the takeaway is not to stop pursuing happiness, but to rethink how we do it. Can we find happiness by being more present and less focused on what we don't have? This reflection encourages us to seek contentment within ourselves, aligning with the Stoic idea that happiness comes from living in harmony with our true nature and values. As we come to the end of this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on our own pursuit of happiness. Are we caught in the endless chase, or can we find peace in the present? This is your chance to pause and think about what really matters to you. Consider making a small change today. Instead of seeking happiness in things or future events, focus on something you can appreciate right now. It might be a simple moment of gratitude or a kind word to someone close. These small shifts can bring about a big change in how you feel every day. Remember, happiness is not a destination, but a way of living. By being mindful and present, you can create a life filled with genuine joy and contentment. Let this be a gentle reminder to find beauty in the ordinary and to cherish the moments that make life meaningful. If you feel inspired, share your thoughts in the comments. Write the word contentment to let us know you've been on this journey with us. Thank you for joining and taking this time to reflect.